What creepy cults that brainwash people should we be more aware of? Ramschool of Enlightenment. Very creepy cult that is based in the next town over from the one I grew up in. Basically this lady says she channels the warrior Ramtha and spews out bat crap crazy stuff like how an empty rainier erupts lizard people will escape from it. You can see her ranch from an old highway and her barns are plated in copper with very expensive chandeliers in them and all the works. It's really unsettling. You have to pay thousands for her school and it's hard to walk away from it. People leave their families and lives behind to be able to keep paying for her classes. My cousin used to be a Ramster. He doesn't talk about it much but he did say that the way you get sucked in is very Charles Manson-esque. Lots of LSD, nudity and just weirdness. This was in the 90s though. I don't know if the cult still draws people in that way anymore. The autism cures people. These people legitimately advocate for putting industrial bleach up their kids' butts and in their mouths. All in the name of curing said kid's social disorder. They believe autism is caused by intestinal worms, and when the children start to shred intestinal lining due to the bleach enemas, it is the worms that are leaving the body. It is so freaking sick. The Japanese cult Happy Science. Why do all the crazy cults have science in their name? Their premise is peace, love, and all that bullcrap, yet they have a political party that has some of the craziest war ideas and even denies major events like the Nanjing massacre. Yes, they are so big that they even have a Japanese political party. I accidentally walked into one of these temples in Japan, thought it was a bookshop, which it was on the bottom floor, but then you walk upstairs into an idol worship room. The Japanese religion worships El Cantor, supreme spiritual being that their leader claims to be an incarnation of. While I was in said temple I was forced to drink coffee, like what the frick, exorcised of demons and negative energy, and given a spiritual gift of communication, whatever that means. The latter two being performed by a priest in a crazy cult outfit with a crazy cult like gold dagger and gold hourglass, while a whole bunch of Happy Science members walked in with their cult necklaces. Oh, and when I finally did get out of there, they gave me a flyer. The best part of which is that it said their leader Okawa could channel the spirits of various people past and present, including Jesus Christ, Buddha, and President Barack Obama. They also apparently are spreading not worldwide. This needs to stop. The 100 bananas a day diet. People post on their forum complaining of throwing up blood. IDK why anyone would willingly participate. They're the equivalent to texting a girl that isn't interested in you. So much K. Herbalife. I'm still hoping all those things people in that cult of idiots say are just for show and not honest opinions. What about the $3,000 Thermomix I see some of my old friends peddling on Facebook? I have to tell them they're not entrepreneurs or my friends anymore. Moonies. I was caught off guard whilst in the house on my own and answered the door then. Half an hour later I was in the bath being baptized by a kinda rappy looking dude until my girlfriend came home and kicked them out. ATTI, Advanced Training Institute, founded by Bill Goddard, extremely conservative homeschooling group that is extremely patriarchal. The members treated Goddard as God and took his word about anything. They had several locations where families worked there, mostly unpaid, and were required to follow the rules set by the leader. I prefer to call them compounds as you had to sign in and out if you wanted to leave so that the leadership knew where you were at all times. No televisions allowed, very restricted internet access, and all meals had to be had together at a specific time. Goddard always kept young, beautiful women as his assistants and families gladly sent their daughters to work, unpaid, for him. He was sued for sexual assault by many of those girls afterwards. How do I know all this? My family was a part of this organization for years and lived in one of their compounds for a stint. Two of my sisters were sent to their headquarters to be groomed to be assistants. Thankfully one of them left as soon as she turned 18. Had extended family come pick her up, and the other was sent home because she bought a ripstick and it was considered unladylike. Frick Goddard. Frick ATTI. I believe the Duggars, 19 kids and counting, are also a part of this cult, which makes sense, given the disgusting way they handled the molestations of their daughters. All those little churches run by a couple for their business. The one in my town says that unless you speak in tongues, you are not saved. Every single attendee that I used to be friends with are off their rocker. They have claimed to speak in tongues during church. I'm like, You're just a soccer mom, not a prophet. Landmark education. They make you attend seminars and classes, which you pay for, to help you realize your potential. They make you examine your life and make drastic changes, then go out and recruit others. Absolutely the most cultish thing I have ever come into contact with. Lost a girlfriend to it about 15 years ago. They sucked her in via her business school classes. She then tried to recruit her brother and I. At that point we were already having problems. I had had enough and split. Zero regrets. Scrum. It's the new religion in the workplace. I'm currently seated opposite our company's Scrum wall, with all the little tasks dedicated to all the different groups, and I'm seriously considering just quitting my job. I think I've hit my boiling point. Dr. Sebi Devotees. He's some snake oil salesman that markets all kinds of garbage products that are supposed to treat diabetes and cure HIV and things like that. It's marketed mostly at less educated African Americans. His products have a very devoted following, to the point they forego actual medicine to treat serious illnesses. I call them Sebites. He actually died recently, but my god, the conspiracy theories coming out of it are gold. Not exactly a cult, but the kinds of people who go on about Big Pharma being evil so they can sell you some bee venom wrinkle cream and a shiny rock or two. It's pretty fricked up how these people think they're so smart and onto it when they're really more gullible than anyone. What's worse is when people buy into all of it to the point they refuse to see a doctor. Oh, I don't need to see a doctor about my infection. He'll just fill me up with antibiotics. I just need ginseng honey tea and it'll be gone in a month or two. The Teachers Group. All those Planet Aid donation bins for you to drop off used clothes. They're being sold to fund a dangerous cult called the Teachers Group. The money is going directly into the leaders' pockets. They do this common salary thing where they pay a salary to their members working overseas, and then take all that money back. Basically just a form of money laundering. And their programs haven't done anything they say they're going to do, despite receiving millions in grant money to help develop struggling countries. They are a huge fraud and a huge cult. Don't donate your used clothes to Planet Aid. Jehovah's Witness. I have close part of my family that belongs to it. It's ridiculous the way they act about certain things. You don't even get to celebrate your birthday. The Japanese cult Aum Shinrikyo. They spent years planning terrorist attacks, had strongholds with chemical factories inside them and contacts in the government as well as with intellectuals and scientists who supported them. The worst part is they are still around, just under supervision. They did the Tokyo sarin attacks. Did you watch Holy Heck, the documentary about this on Netflix? I was stunned. Stunned that all those people could be so devoted to such an insane creep. How it happens is pretty scary, though. How someone could completely lose control of their own mind and give it up to another person to control. Larouchis. They fly below the radar because they're not religious, and their politics aren't necessarily even all that radical in the traditional left-right sense, but it is some weird stuff with some very cult-like characteristics. Fox News. Hear me out. If you've ever watched Fox News, you'll notice they talk a lot about the mainstream media, as though they're not a part of it. They work very hard to inoculate their viewers against any other sources of information that might hurt their ultra-conservative narrative. Rush Limbaugh and his ilk are offered as sources of information and evidence. The purpose is to lock people into a funnel of propaganda. It results in people who scoff at NPR and PBS as news sources, when they're actually the best, most balanced news available. It causes people to say everybody knows that newspapers are liberal. It causes them to hold patently false beliefs and to doubt experts. There's a segment of conservatism that is a cult, and Fox News is the chanting preacher on the dais. Anti-vaccine advocating. And a lot of that other naturopathic crap, no base in science, and actively making our society less safe. While they're pretty much gone now, save for their small, sheltered spin-off, Aum Shinrikyo were some pretty nasty folk back in their heyday. Last podcast on the left recently made a whole special on them, definitely worth checking out. And holy crap were they nutcases. They went full ISIS well before Al-Qaeda did. Scientology. There's a biggest hospital-size building in Los Angeles. How those individuals fell for that balls is beyond my understanding. I cannot wait for Louis Theroux's documentary on Scientology to come out. It's going to be amazing. Honestly, Jehovah's Witnesses. For decades, thousands of kids have been molested and they do not believe in contacting the police about it. People are getting sick and dying without blood transfusions. And once you're in, it's almost impossible to get out. You will be shunned and your family will be forbidden from speaking to you. If you even disagree with the doctrine after joining, they actually teach that you are mentally diseased. Beach body fitness. Like Jesus Christ, my mom is obsessed with them and their workout programs and pays so much money for crap you could just look up on YouTube. Plus they have these things that help you start your own business and have meetings with speakers who built their business and make millions a year. But they are really only there to encourage them to try to keep making their own businesses. It's just stupid. And working out and getting help for losing weight and stuff is definitely a positive for anyone. But you don't need to spend dang near $400 something on their products like Jesus. Any meditation group that expects you to pay money just to chant in an incense filled room. I'm looking at you. Transcendental meditation. That crap is a cult recruitment disguised as meditation. It can frick you up. They convince you that you have superpowers and make you pay more to go up the hierarchy. I always thought cults were an American thing until recently. If you want to learn how to meditate, there are free resources out there. Banker's Life. It's a MLM company but for Medicare insurance supplements for seniors. Everyone I know who has ever posted their resume on any of the major job websites in this area has received spam calls from Banker's Life. These callers will straight up lie about available positions, accounting, office manager, admin, to get you in for an interview. Once you show up for the interview, it's always an insurance sales position. You have to pay hundreds of dollars for an insurance certification and it's nothing but cold calling and door knocking seniors. Then when you do manage to sell something, I've heard they take out tons of ridiculous fees. My mom fell for the phone call scam and went in for an interview. It was a waste of her time. These people are like cultist leeches. Whatever this Plexus crap that middle-aged women are constantly preaching over. I don't want your dietary bulls. Knock it off. The Landmark Group. My girlfriend's good friend randomly came to visit and she was so excited to see her as it's been years. Turns out the friend was 100% just trying to convince her to go to sign up for a Landmark meeting and even offered to pay the initial costs. Frick the groups that tell you to prey on friends and family. My girlfriend was crushed. The Quaverful movement is freaking scary. Some Amish communities could qualify too, especially the types where it's so secluded half the people are mentally retarded because of inbreeding. We have a rather large Mennonite community where I am, but from what I've seen, they are pretty great. I mean, I'm openly lesbian and I'm really good friends with a lot of them. We discuss each other's religions a lot. I'm a practicing heathen who has no understanding of Christianity or its many versions. So, at least there's some non-culty versions. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.